What's going on, everybody? KingofDragons 5000 here, coming at you with another figure review. Today we'll be having a look at the McFarlane Toys DC Multiverse Cyborg from Teen Titans. And so here we have the McFarlane Multiverse Cyborg posed and out of the packaging. Before we take a look at the figure, let's actually run through his accessories really fast. Cyborg does come with his sonic cannon, which can fit on either of his hands depending on which one you pop off, and it does look nice. If you really want to, you can pop off the little blue effect. He also does come with a McFarlane display stage. Other than that, Cyborg doesn't come with anything else. I think more add-ons would have been nice, but I think the sonic cannon is a good enough accessory. So with that out of the way, guys, let's actually have a closer look at his details. And so here we have a closer look at the McFarlane Cyborg, and I'm not going to lie to you, I really love this figure. Now, don't get me wrong, Cyborg is not one of my favorite DC characters. As a Teen Titan, I think he's wonderful. As a founding member of the Justice League, not so much. But this figure, oh man, this is a really nice figure. McFarlane really did put a lot of care into this figure, and it looks like he did just like he jumped off the TV screen right into my hands. He looks really nice. Now, there are some things that could be done a little better, like the translucency with the white. I think if they had painted the white inside like a little more of a bluish hue, it would look a little bit better. But as it stands, that is a really nice little effect that they have going. Now, the way it looks like they did it is that it's a base plastic, and then they just peg on the blue translucent plastic. But it works. For what it's supposed to be, it works. Yeah, you can see the little peg points on it. They could have hidden those a little bit better, but honestly, it looks really nice. Like right here on his arm, you can't really see it. Here on his legs, same thing. Really loving the illusion that it casts. It does make it look like it's a transparent dome with some cybernetics underneath it. And that face just screams animated series Cyborg, so yeah, this is a really nice looking figure. I dig this figure a lot. There's really not much to say in terms of his paint. He's mainly going to be flesh tone, silver, white, or blue. That's all we really have, but the paint on him is done exceptionally well. You can see right here. I want to say the white is the base coat of plastic. I haven't really taken this figure apart to take a look, but the white is done really well. Unfortunately, I do have a little bit of a smudge right there. Looking on the back, it's not the cleanest. As you can see, there is some smudging right here on the back of his armor, but just really like how clean this is for the most part. Yeah, it is has a little bit of runoff right there in the front. It doesn't have too much runoff, so I can actually live with that, seeing as how this is the way you're going to see the figure most of the time. Really do like that. We do have these little parts painted silver, and I think they should have hidden those peg points underneath these. I think that would have been a much better thing than just having that peg right there exposed. Again, you're not really going to see it if you're not looking for it. So I do appreciate the effort that went into this figure, and that I just can't get over how nice that looks. That looks really, really clean. Loving the flesh tone that we have right here, his silver armband, and then we do have looking like it's not really a sleeve, because I know this part also transforms, but it looks like a sleeve, even though I know that's really supposed to be part of his arm now. Then just looking at the rest of his forearm right here, again we have that peg piece, and yes, this is the peg that actually slips through the entire arm of the figure, and they did a really good job masking that, so kudos to McFarlane right there. I don't think Mattel could have done a better job if they had the DC license, which we know they didn't, so let's not even hold that against them. But really loving the knuckles right here on his hands. The knuckles are painted really well. The paint on him is clean throughout the entire outfit. You can see the silver and the black do look really good together. All this panel lining looks really good. I love how that came out. McFarlane outdid themselves, and really like the fact that on the leg they hit the peg on the inside, so that you're not really looking, if you look around, you don't really see it on the outside. So they did a good job there. Painted silver pads, or silver knee pads on him, which do look good. And then we go on to his boots, which we have that really nice dark black, or it's really like a dark gray, it's not really black. Silver on the top of the feet, Toes are looking good. Like, everything on this figure is really done exceptionally well. I think the only thing I have against it are these ankles. These ankles are terrible. It makes standing Cyborg really, really hard. If they had just done different ankles, I would be more in love with this figure. But as it stands, this figure does take me back to when I would watch Teen Titan growing up. And ooh, I just really wanted them to complete the entire team now, because this is a really good figure, and I think McFarlane will do every figure justice if they get around to it. So with that out of the way, guys, let's actually get him compared to other figures you may have in your collection. Here we have Cyborg Pose next to a Marvel Legends Cyclops and a DC Multiverse Superman. Here we have Cyborg Pose next to a WWE Elite Scale figure and a Mezco 1/12 Collective Popeye the Sailor Man. And finally, here we have Cyborg Pose next to a Lightning Collection White Ranger and a Star Wars Black Series Mandalorian. So with the comparisons out of the way, guys, let's actually run through his articulation. Cyborg here does have, I'm guessing it's a double ball joint, but it does have some really slight limited movement just because it's probably seated really far down and really high in his head, so he really doesn't look up all too well. He can look down an exceptional bit. Head tilt is done really well, and his head does turn left and right, no problem. Arms, they do feel like they're connected on a ball socket because they do move around. They pivot back and forward, but only a little bit. Nothing too spectacular, so I really wouldn't chalk it up. Arm rotation works just fine. Look at that. It's buttery smooth. Arms do go out to the side all the way horizontal, so Cyborg can do that. And I really like the way this is engineered. At first I thought I was going to hate this design, but it actually does work to benefit the figure, so I'm perfectly okay with it. We do have a bicep swivel hidden right here underneath the shoulder pad, so the arm does swivel up here. We have a single bend at the elbow, giving us a little less than 90 degrees, which I really wish that cutout came a little bit lower just so we can move the arm up a little bit better. We do have a swivel hinge here at the wrist, and it's a pretty stiff joint. You can see it does pivot up and down. We can rotate that to have in and out swivel, and then we do have rotation. I'm going to guess we have a single ball joint right here in the torso because that does rotate really nicely. It moves just fine, tilts side to side, back and forth, no problem, although it goes back more than it goes forward. Then we do have a secondary ball joint down here at his waist, and that moves to the side and then moves to the other side. That moves forward, leans back, swivels as well, so really good range there. Legs do kick forward a little less than 90 degrees, but you can force it to go if you really want to. Doesn't go back all that far. Going out to the side, does a split, no problem. Cyborg is a fairly athletic person. We do have a really slight thigh swivel up here, but it really doesn't do much, but it is there. Hopefully, nope, I thought that would be a thigh swivel because that would be the perfect place to have a thigh cut right down there. Even though I don't like when they put the lower cut right there, they could have hidden it really well right there. Double bend in the knee, granting us a pretty decent range in the knee, so it does move back. And then we go on to his ankles, where they did the same ball hinge that they've been doing. Really wish McFarlane would just do a swivel hinge, because this ball hinge is kind of tricky to work with, especially on figures that are top heavy like Cyborg. It does afford us forward and back mobility really nicely. It does rotate up here. Then we have it rotating on the forward facing pin. Now unfortunately, to get him standing straight up, these detents are really, really big. So it's going to be forward, middle, back, furthest. So getting him posed just right is a little bit of a hassle. I did realize that bending his knees slightly is probably the only way to really get him to stand up normally. That is a little bit of an issue. And then his final bit of articulation is toe hinge. So overall, he does sport the standard articulation that we've come to expect from McFarlane, but Cyborg here does do a really good job of representing the Teen Titans cartoon, so I really do like the way this figure came out. So with that out of the way, guys, let's actually get Cyborg Pose for my final thoughts, and then we'll wrap up this review. So here we have Cyborg Pose for my final thoughts, and overall I think McFarlane has knocked it out of the park with this animated style of figure. Now I do have the other animated style figures, I just haven't got around to open them. I don't know why, there's a lot of things I need to get around to opening. But Cyborg here is one figure that I really did want to get my hands on, especially posing him around, moving him around, because he did look like a really nice figure in the box. And you know what? He is a really nice figure out of the box. He does have some issues though. Those ankles do make him a little bit hard to stand, but once you find that butter zone, his feet are big enough that he will stand without any help, so you don't need the display stage or any other stand to help him. So I do appreciate that. He has a really nice wide foot base so that you don't need to worry about him falling over if you don't put him properly. Now he is a little bit top heavy just because of the animation style. Now it's not that big of an issue with him versus all the other designs from the animated McFarlane figures, but I do warn that those ankles have really big detents, so getting him to stand straight up is a little bit of a challenge, but you can do it. Me personally, I think displaying him in an action pose is the way to go, because having him just standing straight up doesn't really do the figure justice in my opinion. If you are looking for a Cyborg, I have started to see them hit stores online at Walmart and Target. I actually got mine from Amazon, which I'm really happy for. It just arrived on my doorstep when I got out of work, so having it there when I got out of work was something to look forward to, and I really do like this figure. Cyborg here will run you the average $19.99, which is what we've been seeing from McFarlane, which is a pretty good pricing, how the scale of this figure is pretty good. And the amount of detailing on him is superb. Might I say he is one of my favorite multiverse figures that we've gotten all year. And that's a huge list to go through, because I've enjoyed just about every multiverse figure we've had a look at. So Cyborg just joins the ranks of really awesome figures. With that being said, guys, I'm KingofDragons 5000. Don't forget to like this video, leave a comment, subscribe to my channel. Go check out all my other action figure reviews as well as all my other DC Multiverse videos. Hopefully you find them informative. As always, if there's a figure you would like to see me review, let me know down in the comments. And if it's in my collection, I'll definitely have a look at it. While you're at it, check out my Instagram account for new and exciting action figure photos. And as always, ring that bell to be notified every time I upload a video. Until next time, guys, I'll see you later. Take care, everyone.